So there are two laws in thermodynamics. The first one says that energy is either transferred or transformed, but cannot be created or destroyed. So a transfer of energy is, say, when you're holding your hot chocolate and then your hands feel warm after. It's because the heat energy was transferred from the hot chocolate to your fingers. A transformation of energy is when it changes from one type to another. So light energy from the sun hitting the leaves, and then the chloroplast, and then photosynthesis happens, and it's changed into chemical energy in the form of glucose in this case. And say you eat the apple and you take that glucose, break it down, and you're able to dance around and move. So that chemical energy has been transformed into kinetic energy. The second law of thermodynamics states that the energy in the universe or in an isolated system tends spontaneously toward disorder. So it can start off really organized and everything, but then it becomes chaos, or as we call it in science, entropy. So my room right now is in a very entropic state because science said so. Now, if we look at cells, we have a polymer over here. So this could be an organized form of these molecules being arranged like that. But if we break all those bonds, we get a higher entropy state. Now, if we look at the opposite of the previous example, where we start off with a bunch of small parts, and then after that we make one big polymer, aren't we decreasing entropy then? Because this is in a more organized state, right? But we have to remember that the second law only applies to either the universe or an isolated system. Now, this cell is not an isolated system. We tend to forget that there are other cells around it, and that there's like blood vessels and all this stuff. So when this happens, we're going to have heat released into the surroundings, which is going to make all of the molecules and all the things around it kind of go crazy because they're going to get all that energy and start moving around faster. So the entropy is increasing, it's just on the outside of the cell. Now, we can also get a change in entropy if we start off with these two molecules bonded together, a green and a pink, and then after that we can have two pinks and two greens. Again, this change in the types of bonds, so here we broke these bonds and we formed these new bonds. In this case, it is also releasing energy into the environment, increasing entropy on the outside.